Hi, welcome to the latest episode of Call It with Kaitlin and Brittany. Good morning, Kaitlin.
How are you doing?
Good. Did you turn on your microphone today?
It's on today.
Okay.
Last time we got done, I don't know if yours picked it up or I was just projecting well, but I did not.
Okay, well, thank you for turning it on today.
You're welcome.
Thank you to all of our viewers, all 5 of you. So, we're back with another episode, and we are going to start today with our Space Coast Runners housekeeping.
Perfect.
Yep. So we'll kind of talk about this upcoming races this weekend, the Eye of the Dragon. We'll have our series standing, but let's start with our youth race. What do we got going on there for the youth series?
Yeah, so the next one is happening February 22nd at Space Coast Junior Senior High. So these are really fun events for all the kids to come out. They do different distances, whether it's 100 meters for the little guys up to, they go up to 800?
800 for the 11 and 12-year-olds.
Yeah, so it's a free event that Space Coast Runners puts on. I think I say it every time that yes, there's a big benefit to getting the kids out, getting them active. I think kids aren't active enough, just in general. Like screens suck them in and everything else. But also as a parent, it's really cool because we have Keith Snodgrass out there taking pictures, and he gets amazing shots. So that's another big bonus.
Yeah, and when we do the next race, which is number 5 out of our 6 for the Kids Youth Series, is that myself and Donna Arnister, she's our Youth Series coordinator, we are actually doing a presentation at the RRCA National Convention this coming April. So we're going to be doing little interviews with some of the kids.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, to kind of tailor our presentation, which is the benefits of youth running and how different clubs throughout the country might be able to do something similar, where it's a free program that different running clubs can put on in their community. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know Chris is excited. He forgot that we missed 2. He thought we only missed 1, and he had his bottle out the other day, and I had to break it to him. And he was like, "No," he was like arguing with me, and I'm like, "Sorry, buddy, we missed 2."
Yeah,
I said, it's coming up. It's coming up. We'll do it in February. You can do it again. So yeah, he was excited about that.
Yeah, so we invite everybody, as I said, free program, kids 12 and under. Everyone gets a participation prize plus snacks and drinks, and it's a lot of fun. So so see you there on February 22nd.
Yep.
For Space Coast Runners, let's see, we've got our Runner of the Year series going on, and we have calculated our points. Tooth Trot happened at the end of January. So our official Runner of the Year standings have been updated on the website. So thank you, Abu Chase. Let's go over them.
All right. So for the men, we have Steve Hedgepeth still leading.
Yes.
We have Jerry Kalka is in second. And
Patrick Packard.
I could not remember his first name. I'm glad you saved me on that one. Still in third in Masters, we have Nate Dwanger. In Grandmasters, we have Kevin
Jackamite.
Thank you. And Senior Grandmasters, Rick Grew.
Yes, so not a lot of changes, but I am going to point out that Logan Chapman did run the Tooth Trot 5K, and he had a couple other wins earlier in the season, so he is lurking.
Yeah.
You know, the series does have a total of 10 races, but 8 of them are scored, so we have 2 drop races.
Yeah.
So Logan Chapman is lurking, and
this is when it starts to get really interesting with the series, because you have people that have done all the races, and you have people that have maybe missed 2 already. So until we get to the end, it may look like they're further down the leaderboard, but then everybody gets their 2 drops, and so there's a lot of jumping that goes on. So it gets really fun here near the end, because we have
because this is number 6.
Okay, so we have 4 more.
Yes, we'll have the Brianna Marie Foundation 5K beginning of March, downtown Melbourne 5K towards the middle of March, followed by the Space Coast Classic 15K and 2 mile on April 13th, and then the last one is the grand finale, Eat My Crust 5K on Sunday, May 4th. Yeah, so that's coming.
Yes.
4.
Yes.
Dragons 5. Okay, for the ladies, our series leader is none other than Miss Kaitlin Donner. Yay!
Thank you.
In second place in our standings, we have Mary Hoffmeister, and in third, we have Kristen Lockwood.
And the Masters gets interesting now.
Well, it's shuffling.
It just shuffles around.
I think Margaret has held every Masters level that we've had. Because again, people missing races or whatnot. But for Grandmasters, Miss Margaret Cooper is now our Masters leader, with Dawn Greger for Grandmasters, and then for Senior Grandmasters, there's Carol Ball too.
Very good.
Yeah. So some new names, some old names, and some shuffles.
Yep.
So
and then the next one, like you said, is the Brianna, after Dragon.
Yes.
Is Brianna Marie on March 1st, happening at Wickham Park.
First time in the series, so if you've never run that race, come on out, score your points, get your Rain All Races Challenge participation, and it'll be a good time.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I have not looked at the course. Do you know what the course is? Not to put you on the spot.
For Brianna Marie?
Yeah.
No, I actually have never done the race.
I haven't either. I meant to look at the course because Tooth Trot was kind of fun because it was a
I
different
liked
course
Tooth
than we
Trot.
ever did.
Yes, I like Tooth Trot course.
The only thing I didn't like was I didn't get to see you because of the way the turnaround was and going on the sidewalk. I didn't get to see you on the return.
Well, I saw you, I just didn't know it was you.
Oh.
Because I saw all the leaders.
Oh.
Because you wore a hat, didn't you?
I did wear a hat.
That was my
I didn't want to have
problem.
to do my hair. That was that was the point. I didn't want to have to do my hair and it was humid, so I was like, I'll just put a hat on and put a bun.
And I think that's where it threw me because I was like,
I don't usually have it on.
I'm like, where's Kaitlin? Where's Kaitlin? And then you were like, you told me who you were with because you were near Hedge or something. I was like, oh, I did see you. And I was like, it's the hat.
Yeah, I threw you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I totally missed you.
Yeah, and I didn't want people screaming at me, so.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So I'll have to look at we'll look at that course and then before the race we'll go over it a little bit. If it's the course that we do at Wickham all the time, or if it's something like Tooth Trot or something different.
It starts at a different pavilion, so I think it
Oh,
regardless.
Be different.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. All right, so then this weekend
Yay!
we have Eye of the Dragon and Tail of the Lizard
Bum, bum, bum.
coming up that you might know a little bit about.
Yes, we've been talking about this for a while now. 10th anniversary of Slay the Beast Challenge, which is the 10K and the 2 mile. Over 400 people are registered. It's sold out.
It's a heavy, awesome medal.
It is heavy and awesome. We've got our 10K medal here. 10K is still open.
Very good.
The 2 mile is barely open.
It's going to sell out.
Yep.
I got a good feeling within the next couple days.
Yeah, we're actually, based on registrations, going to be fielding our largest number of participants that race has ever seen, and it's 37 years of existence.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yep, so Eye of the Dragon started back in 1989.
Very good.
Yep, and it had how many finishers?
89.
It did. I think that's so fun.
That is fun.
Yep, so that 37 years, and then Tail of the Lizard, we're so excited for this little guy. It's celebrating its 30th anniversary because it first ran in 1994.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, very cool.
Yep.
And we talked about this a little before jumping on, that those that are local will know why it's called Eye of the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not local or if you're new to the area, you might not know.
Right, so why don't you tell them why?
Because I'm local.
Yes. Yep.
So at the end of, and that's why it's even called Dragon Point. So if you run from Oars and Paddles and you come over the drawbridge, the road naturally turns right, and that's where we do the out and back for a lot of the long runs. Well, if you go left, which is a private road, please don't run down there. But at the end, at that point, it's Dragon Point, and there used to be a big dragon, and they would do barbecues like in its mouth, and you would see the smoke kind of coming out of the noses and everything.
And it was a playhouse. It was built. As a playhouse, and she was beautiful.
It was huge. It was awesome, and had like a couple little eggs with like little dragons popping out of them.
Yeah.
So that was super cool.
Yeah, and through the years, with the hurricanes, the property changing hands, the dragon met its demise in the Indian River.
Yeah, it
and,
slowly crumbled.
So now it just lurks below the O'Galley Causeway as our runners cross it.
Yep.
Yeah,
it was cool. When I was in high school, there was still bits of it left. So on a couple of our runs, we would run down there.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at it and you're being careful because it wasn't perfect.
No,
because
it was okay, and then it kind of started.
Yeah, yeah, but it was cool because you could still see the head and the mouth and a
yeah.
couple of the little eggs. So that's why it's called Eye of the Dragon.
I know.
The eyes used to light up.
Go by it on the boat, and I was like, there she is.
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah.
And then in 1997, you were saying was when we had our closest finish in the race.
It was, and that's, dating back, it was the women's race.
Yep.
It was Rebecca Sparks, and she was racing towards the finish line, followed a mere 3 seconds behind by Seal Buchanan.
Very good,
Yep. So,
finished in 13:08? No, 39:08.
Yes.
13:08 would be your world record.
Really fast and
39:08, so awesome.
Yeah. So that was good.
Very
I have
cool.
a quote here that I wanted to share.
Oh, I can't wait.
So George Revels, he was a past race director of Dragon, and he is quoted as saying, "It was the bridge that separated the well-trained from the slackers."
That's true. I mean, if I were to give any advice for this weekend, it would be put your ego aside for the first 5K.
Yes.
Because it will come back to get you on the bridge.
That dragon will whip your butt.
Yes. Yeah, you can. I don't care how good you feel on the first 5K. Stay conservative, because if you overdo it and get overconfident in the first 5K, you will pay for it on the second 5K over the bridge, because you got to go over the bridge, and you have to go a little further. It's not just to the bottom of the bridge.
No,
you have to go a little
out.
further, you know, to get the distance before you turn around. So be prepared.
Yes, you have to be prepared, and you never really know what the weather's going to throw at you. Another interesting tidbit, in 1993, the race saw howling winds and a tornado watch.
Oh, wow.
Waves from the river were slamming onto the rocks and breaking over the volunteers' heads. Whoever wrote this said they weren't sure where these volunteers were located to being slammed by these waves. But yeah.
It was probably along our galley, because you know how it hits that seawall on the east
Yeah,
side of the
where it
bridge
can, like,
where it
boom.
kind of comes up.
Yeah.
But we should add to that list that race a couple of years ago.
2020.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
When you had to pull people off
lightning.
some of them off the course because of lightning.
Yeah, we had to shut it down, but fortunately it is Florida weather. We were able to regroup, circle back, and the tail of the lizard ran. So.
Yep, that was awesome. And that is why we train in all kinds of weather.
I know.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know when it's Florida, but the thing with the dragon is the dragon doesn't care, so neither should you.
Yeah, you got to show up. Everybody races in the same conditions.
Yeah, so we're good. I think we got our race packets packed yesterday. Shirts are in, medals are in. The dragon dances will be happening before each of the 10K
Those are so cool.
races. Yep. National anthem singer will be there. It's a special one coming up from Vero Beach.
Awesome.
So we're excited to see her, and I'm just thinking if there's anything else. Nope. I think this is all good.
Well, this ties into when you're talking about the race, the packet stuffing and everything. That as race director,
yes,
I want to ask you a couple questions, because I think sometimes as runners, we show up to races and we think that almost things just happen, you know, and if things don't go exactly how we think it's going to, then it's, you know, the end of the world or that type of thing. And this is whether it's a small race or a big race. You know, I guess I want to ask a question about what goes in to the race. So overall, like the last 6 months, what are a couple examples of things you've had to do to make sure that Dragon happens for all 1,000 of us to come out?
Well, I mean, a lot of things go into any race. It doesn't matter how big or small. You know, you have your planning process. You know, I think I've been directing Dragon now 8 years, so it's been a learning experience. Every race is always different. Dragon, its race registration opens up in April, so it's really the week after Dragon this year. We'll start planning for next year, and we have to do that for a myriad of reasons, for securing the location with the city of Melbourne and all of that good stuff. So it's really a 1-year cycle.
Yeah.
But when it gets closer to everything, you've got to, you know, make sure you've got to have your, you know, your race event timing, like running zone, you know, like we book them way out. Then we're looking at DJs, national anthem singers. We are making sure that we're working with the city and where we stage the race, the Civic Center, to make sure that all of that the permitting is done. There's a lot of paperwork that goes into a lot of these races, depending on what entities you're using.
And then you have sponsors, like you're going out and getting sponsors from the community to try to, you know, make the race as big of a success as you can. And I mean, I know just from camp trying to get sponsors for our product nights, like that is a process, and you get a lot more no's than you get yeses, and you keep asking. So everybody you see on the back of the shirt, you know, there's a lot of time and effort that went into that, and a lot of support from people. We're lucky in our community.
Oh, to have
come out,
that really enjoy the races.
Yeah.
Funny story with Dragon. We you know, we work with the police department. You know, to have, you know, the course be monitored and you know, just helping with traffic and everything. And they're supposed to be there really early, and I'm standing there and I'm like, I don't even see like one police car, because, you know, multiple people. And I'm like, this is strange. And then my phone rings, and I'm standing on Pineapple, and I'm like, hello. And he's like, hey, you know, the city police, you know, where exactly do you want us? And I'm like, well, where are you? He's like, we're here. I'm like, where? I'm like, because I can't see you. He's like, we're here at the Civic Center. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm right in the road. Like, you're in the Civic Center parking lot, and I'm looking, and it's dark out and everything. He was like, well, yeah. And I'm like, what can you see? He goes, what do you mean, what can I see? I go, do you see the library? He goes, what library? I go, what Civic Center are you at? They were at, they were on Hibiscus over
my gosh.
The other, somebody put in the wrong center. One of them said the wrong Civic Center. They all went to the one that's over there off of NASA. What's that one called?
I know which one you're talking about.
It's like the Melbourne Civic Center.
Yeah. It might be Melbourne Civic Center.
Instead of O'Galley, the police were all there. I'm like, yeah, well, everything is over here at O'Galley Civic Center.
So can you please come over
He's
here?
like, we're on our way, ma'am. I'm like, better crank those lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
never know. There's a lot of
Yeah.
problem solving, putting fires out along the way.
Yeah.
So then this week you had said you were stuffing packets.
Yes.
So
Yesterday they did 1 hour, 1 minute.
That's amazing.
1,000.
That's amazing.
Really good.
So then what else kind of happens this week and then leading into race morning to make sure everything's ready to go?
We're just getting all of our lists ready because a lot of stuff is kept in storage. We are coordinating with the sponsors. We have our layout because we're inside the Civic Center for the post-race awards. So all of that has to be planned out with the Civic Center. Making sure we have our permits, making sure we have the insurance documents, all of that good stuff, knowing that what time people need to be showing up by. Then we have packet pickup that will open tomorrow and on Saturday. So getting volunteers or myself to staff all of that.
I was just thinking, coordinating all the volunteers for course marshals and packet pickup and medals and everything.
And we look at everything every year. Where are the water stops? Are they adequate? Are we following recommended guidelines? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Finding volunteers. West Shore high schoolers are going to be out there manning 2 of the water stops. So the race gives back to them. Coordinating with the scholarship fund, the Space Coast Runners Christian Lake Memorial Student Scholarship Fund it's a mouthful, but it's a great scholarship that this year, right now, the application period is open.
They say, side note, it's open. I saw that email come in.
Yes.
I did read it because you yelled at me last time when I deleted it without reading something on
Always read
it.
your emails.
I almost always do, but I made sure to read it today.
Yeah. So $4,500 the scholarship fund is going to award this year. So $2,000 to the first place essay, $1,500 to the second, and $1,000 to the third. So
Perfect.
This is the first time we've actually done 3.
That's awesome.
So we're excited about that. Working really hard to raise funds because we have big plans with the scholarship.
That's awesome. So my last race director question. So the race morning, what time are you up and kind of how are you getting everything set up race morning?
Well, Kaitlin, I will wake up at 3:45 a.m. and I will be to the location. I try to time it with Running Zone, and I know they're always there by 5 a.m. So I think I'm there at like 4:30, even if I'm sitting in my car, because I get a lot of nervous energies.
Yes.
And just want to make sure we can't get inside the Civic Center until a little bit later. So it's not like, you can get there and start going. It's the waiting game, and that's probably the hardest part of Sunday morning is just waiting, and then it happens. Then things start.
Do we get any kind of like sneak peek into your fit for the day? Because I know you always have a new fit, and so we never know what we're going to see come race day. Or we keep it under wraps.
It depends on what delivery gets made today.
That's fair.
So I'm planning out where I'll have 2 looks. Well, I'm not going to wear 2 looks.
Oh,
but
I thought you meant like change between 10K and 2.
I should if both of them are good. Yeah, the one is okay. So I have one that is a definite. And then possibly maybe the one that has, I'll say, a little bit more flair.
Okay.
We'll see if it arrives in time.
Okay, very good.
But I don't know if I'll like it. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because I was going to wear my fancy pants, and they don't go with the look. So I was bummed about that. Yeah. So this is the volunteer shirt.
Very good.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a good day.
And I have to bring up what is your secret juice of the morning that helps you get through the race?
That would be a nice can of Rockstar energy drink, punched flavor only.
Oh, I didn't know that part. Punched flavor only.
Yeah, but I gotta like say, sometimes I just forget and everything. Celsius has been, and there will be Celsius at the race too. I was drinking Celsius at Santa because for whatever reason I was like, ran out of the house and I was like, ugh. And Mike's like, have a can of Celsius. It's also an energy drink. It was really good.
Yes, I can't buy them because they're so good, and then I'll drink it, and there's a lot of caffeine in there. And I didn't know that there's 2 sizes now. I don't know how long the 2 sizes have been out. It can be like, like the smaller, thinner can.
Which I would never get.
And then there's the Big Mama, which is like 1.5 of that.
Yeah, I love caffeine.
Yes.
So yeah, especially when I need it.
When you need it, that's what keeps you on.
Get up there and go and go and go. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So it'll either be Celsius or Rockstar.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
So so now you know all the inside.
Yeah. Be nice to your race director. They put a lot into the race. Be kind.
Yeah, and thank your volunteers because they are definitely there from the race packet pickup to the water stops to course marshaling. Everybody is out there volunteering their time, and we very much appreciate it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was all our housekeeping. I had one potential hot take. I don't know if it'll be a really big hot take.
What you got?
Well, we talked about this a little bit in regards to goals. And I talked to it on Coffee with Coach on Monday a little bit.
Okay.
But
That's with the training camp.
Yeah, so the training camp has Coffee with Coach every Monday where I come up with a variety of topics that I'll present on and then open it up to questions, etc. And this week was on goals, because we've seen a lot of runners, and this is in camp, out of camp, just in general, that I think struggle with goals a little bit, or aren't sure what their goals are, or coming up with a goal.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people, well, I run.
Right. Right.
That's great.
Or I want to do my best, like a very vague.
Yes.
But we talked about, identifying whether your goals are performance or health goals, and that there's not one answer that's better than the other, but knowing whether it's a performance goal, and that doesn't have to mean I'm going to go out and run a 6-minute mile. You're bettering yourself, whatever that looks like for you. I'm going to run farther than I ever have, whether it's faster than I ever have, going to get up and run X amount of times a week. Anything that's just for you, but that looks different than a health related goal, because I think sometimes there is a bell curve on health with running. Like, I don't think marathoning is particularly healthy.
Not to some of the extremes.
No, or these ultra runnings and things, like it's not, maybe like mental health, and I mean, I do it, I'm not like knocking marathoners, but from a like general health, beat your body up standpoint, it's probably not the best for you.
It's taxing, but again, it's your goal.
Right.
Goals, like, are you, gonna go out there? I have a goal in my head that I want to do 2 to 3 marathons a year.
Yep.
But you're not racing them. You're at the race, you're finishing them, but you're not going for a specific time.
Right.
Because, I mean, with marathon as an example, the pros, they'll run maybe 2 a year.
Yeah.
If that.
And it's even more now because of super shoes.
Yeah.
Because they can recover quicker. But,
you will see some that do the 3, but it's, can they go out there and perform? Because, they're after prize money, they're after records, sponsorship deals and that sort of thing. So, yeah, and I mean, like, even with Dragon, like with the challenge, the 10K 2 mile, that could be a goal just for somebody to finish it.
Right.
Where somebody else might be, I want one of the swords,
Right, or a course record, or faster than I did last year. So they're just different.
Yeah. And I think too, like even in camp, you see people approach things differently.
And I think that's exactly it, identifying your goals, because it's going to cause you to approach things differently.
Yeah, and in the case of camp, like if you start off like in a certain group and your goal is a time related goal at a specific race, like you should feel okay that you started with, I'm making colors up, a red group, and now you're moving up to the blue group. Yeah, you'll feel sad to leave the red group, but you're actually on your goal journey and have made it to blue, so you should feel good about that.
Right.
A lot of people, not that they're shy people, but you become shy about your goals.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's because they're scary. Like, I mean, I remember when I called you the first time and said I was doing the marathon. Yeah. It was like, okay, I'm going to do a marathon, which is scary enough. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to go for the trials time during my first one. Like, what a lunatic. But you have to put it out there in the universe, because then it ended up happening.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, you knew that there was a possibility that you could do it.
Right.
And that's hard to admit, and then actually say, okay, now I'm going to train to do what I just said I was going to do.
Right. And my steps would have looked very different if it was, I'm going to complete my first marathon versus going for a time goal, like all the steps that were taken along the way. And again, it's not to say that one's better or worse than the other. I think you just need to know what your goal is. And even within, I think like the series is a perfect example. You can't be your best every race of a 10-race series. You can't peak at every one.
No.
You can do your best on that day.
There's very few people that can do it. But I mean, it's also great to say you have a 5K that starts in September, get your time, and then you see where you are when you run your last 5K in May.
Exactly.
There's a lot of times like there's a big, jump for a person, and that's always encouraging.
Exactly.
To see. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, even with me, whereas my training's been like up and down because of injuries and whatnot, to like even see like I just ran 30 seconds faster than I did at the beginning of the season.
Right.
That's a win for me. Is
100%.
it anywhere near my PR? No,
but you got faster, you got better.
You take what you can get.
Exactly.
If you're putting the work in, if you're just out there and you just want to be there, just be there.
Yeah, and that would be the difference between like the health goal of I'm going to do a couple miles most days of the week. I just want to get moving. I want to be active. I want to be healthy. I want to make better choices.
I want to bring my
which
blood
is
pressure
awesome.
down.
Yeah, which is awesome. You know, when I do something I haven't done in a while, which is still a really great goal. But then what your week looks like and the steps you take to achieve that goal just look different than a performance goal.
Right, and you should always try to not compare yourself to other people in your group because you don't know what is really going on.
Right, and what everybody's goals are. So I encourage everyone to make goals.
Yeah.
And tell someone about it. Tell people about it. I mean, that's why I called you, because I also knew you'd make me accountable.
Yeah. I mean, years ago, I remember showing up to downtown Melbourne when it was the fast course, and I had it in my head that I was going to break my 5K PR. You know, like I knew it. And like that morning, Shane was out there with his running friends, and I was like, Brittany, what are you going to run today? I said PR. And I was like, oh my God, why did I say that?
Right. You had that moment.
Yeah. And I mean, like secretly, the whole week before the race, I was listening to the Olympic theme song music. That NBC plays, dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I was listening to that every day trying to psych myself up because I'm like a crazy lady.
Yeah.
You know, because I was like, I know my training has supported this. Like, you just need to go out there and do that. So, and like, even just saying like the words, I'm gonna run a marathon.
Yeah.
Like, that's big.
My go-to song was, I think I've shown it to you before. It's the national anthem, but it's by Madison Rising.
Okay.
And so it's like rock band takes on the national anthem.
I like that.
And that was my thing. Because it's like, I mean, even when we do the national anthem before like the zoo race this last weekend, like it's like very sentimental.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I'm like standing there and you're looking at the flag and it brings back memories of different races I've done and different things. And so that was my go-to, like the national anthem, but it's got like this rock style to it. So it's not like real subdued. It like gets you amped up.
Yeah.
That was my go-to.
I love a good national anthem. I'll be standing there. We have a great singer, Elise. She's actually going to be on Broadway this coming weekend. She's done Viera and Vero Beach's Run Run Santa's national anthem. And I get like so emotional. And Mike Acosta, who's, you know, part of Power Pizza Charities, he'll be standing there and he like look at me and he knows like I'm like getting all choked up. He's like, stop it. You're going to make me cry too.
Yes.
Like it's just, you know, like a really good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And you had, that I remember too, Hamilton. I gotta take my shot.
That was my theme song, for that first marathon, because we had gone up, and I had gone up 3 weeks before the race to run on the course and saw that. And it was, I'm not throwing away my shot. Yep. And I had told, this is another, it was hard for me, you know, to admit it and you have to verbalize it. I had told the boys and Ed and my family, and there were a couple times, because the course was a 5K loop, that Chris would start singing, like, my shot, I'm not throwing away my shot in the middle of the marathon. And man,
yeah, you hear
you want to reason to keep going. You have like your 4-year-old singing, you know, your theme song as you're going by, like and that's you get support when you say your goals and you say your mantras and things out loud that resonate with you.
And sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's okay too, because you have the opportunity to bounce back. I mean, that happened to Shane.
Exactly.
So many times the day he told me he was running a marathon to qualify for Boston, I did not know what it meant, and it meant that he ended up in a medical tent at the end of the marathon. He did finish, but he did not qualify for Boston. Yeah. So
I mean, my 5K PR before Mikey was born, you know, I was chasing that sub 16. I think it was 5 or 6 times. I ran 16:06 to 16:15, and I never got under.
I know.
But I kept saying I was going to.
And you kept trying.
You know what? And I PR'd along the way, and it was fun, and maybe I'll get back there. Yeah. But yeah, you just go after it, and then you learn along the way, you get better along the way. So there's my potential hot take. Hope no one got offended.
No, that was a good one. Good. All right.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else we need to talk about? So high school seniors, definitely check out spacecoastrunners.org. If you go under Get Connected, you will see the Christian Lake Memorial Scholarship information, and you can submit. It's a 250-word essay, and it is due no later than February 28th.
Oh, it's coming up, so get those essays in. You got about 2 weeks.
Winners will be announced in March.
Yeah. Awesome.
Going through my head. I don't think I've got anything else.
I don't think so. We got Valentine's Day coming up, so don't forget, Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Shane actually asked me, what would you like for dinner? He was going to cook.
Oh.
I still haven't come up with anything, but how nice was that?
That was very nice.
I know.
Very nice. I'm preparing, and we had to make sure we got Valentine's Day cards for the kids' school to bring in and all the things, so.
Write those out.
You know, like I was telling you before, when it rains, it pours. With anything in life, but then with kids, that Chris had his field trip to the zoo on Tuesday that I chaperoned, and then today he has his color run doing his little jogathon, and then
And then
Valentine's Day, so it's been a
tomorrow.
busy week for them.
I know.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna get good cookies.
It's gonna get a lot of stuff.
I
They're gonna
know.
be jacked up and high on sugar.
More power to you, Kaitlin.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, well then I'm gonna make the mad dash to the
Okay.
camera. And thank you all so much for tuning in.
Yep, we'll see everybody at Eye of the Dragon this Sunday. And excited to see everyone out there. We get to see everyone twice with the 2 little out and back sections. So
Yes.
good luck everyone out there.